ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
Mahopanisad, chapter 5, verse 102. Read 102.
नास्तमेति न चोदेति नोत्तिष्ठति न तिष्ठति न च याति न चायाति न च नेह न चेह चित्।
The Chit Atma Sarupa, Brahma Sarupa is further described. Na astam eti, na cha udeti, na uttishtati, na uttishtati, na tishtati, na cha yati, na cha ayati, na cha aham, na cha iha na cha iha chit, na cha iha chit. The chit astam nayeti. That means it doesn't die, means it doesn't get destroyed. Nacha udeti is not born. Not born. Na uttishtati, it is not, doesn't stand. It doesn't stand. Na tishtati, it doesn't sit at one place. Means it is not a limited entity. Being born, getting destroyed, movement, standing, sitting, etc. These are for limited entities. As far as Chit is concerned, it is not so. It is when it is a nirupadhika. Nacha yati, it doesn't go anywhere. Nacha ayati, it doesn't come. Nacha neha cha iha chit, means it is neither here nor there. Everywhere. It is neither here nor there, means it is everywhere. Continue.
सैषा चियमलाकारा निर्विकल्पा निरास्पदा
Saisha, Saisha, Chit, this Chaitanya, Amalakara, of pure nature, Nirmala, there is nothing other than that. It is Advaya in nature. Nirvikalpa, there is no divisions in that. There are no parts in that. It is a one homogeneous, non-dual entity. Niraspada, Niraspada, it being self-existent principle, it doesn't depend on anything else. Nirashraya or Niradhisthana. It has no, its basis in something else other than that. It is a self-existent, independent entity. Niraspada. Fine. This chit has to be, one has to gain a knowledge of this. What are the eligibilities that one should have to gain the knowledge of the chit, which is one's swarupa? See, this chit being the swarupa, real nature of us all, and we being there, it is always there. Yet, we know it not in its reality. That means there is some defect or there is some obstruction in our faculty of knowing. Otherwise, how can we get deprived of our real nature? The only cause can be pratibandha, obstruction. To get rid of that, certainly some eligibility on our part will be required, wherein the obstruction, the pratibandha, cannot have any say of its own. The so-called pratibandhas have to get discarded, wherein our real nature, which is ever-existent one, not only ever-existent one, it is self-revealing, it is self-evident. It should get revealed on its own. So therefore, the description of the adhikari person, eligible person who can gain this chit vidya, atma vidya, brahma vidya, who is qualified to gain the knowledge of this chit atma brahma? Let us see now. Read 104.
आदौ शमदमप्रायैः गुणैः शिष्यं विशोधयेत् पश्चात् सर्वमिदं ब्रह्म शुद्धस्त्वमिति बोधयेत्
Adau Shisham Shama Dama Prayaihi Gunaihi Vishodhaye Paschat Tvam Shuddha Tvam Iti. Take that Tvam. Paschat Tvam Shuddha Idam Sarvam Brahma Iti Bodhaye. An instruction, as it were, to a guru is being given. How should he impart this knowledge to a disciple? Adau, first of all, What should be done? Shishyam. Who is Shishya? Shiksha Yogya. One who is fit to be taught. See, in every branch of knowledge, there is certainly the minimum qualification required to pursue the study further. So is the case in the case of gaining Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana. What is required? Here requirement will be different type. It is not some academic information that is required here. Here requirement is in terms of disposition of the disciple. What is that? To begin with, Shama Dama Prayayi Gunai. Prayayi means Adi, etc. By characteristic features such as Shama, mastery of the mind, Dama, mastery of the Indriyas, which is Upalakshana, indicated a word for all what is called as Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. Namely, Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadamadi Shatka Sampatti, Mumukshutva, which also includes Amanitva, Adambitva, Ahimsa, Kshanti, Rarjam, etc., told in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, by all these means, Shishyam Vishodhayet, literally Vishodhayet means should be purified. The disciple should be purified means he is antakarana. The mind needs to be purified by the means such as sadhana, chashya, sampatti, etc. Then, paschat, thereafter, see, now who is the disciple? Not the earlier one. The one who has got mastery over the mind, mastery over the indriyas. As a result, he is not attracted toward the sense objects. Vishayas no more hold any fascination for him. He has analyzed and found that Vishayas are incapable of giving him the contentment that he wants. They have no capacity. And that happiness, if at all we get from sense pleasure, is our own real nature. So he is no more going to get fooled by these Vishayas. So to that extent, he has a calm and composed mind. A mind which is ready to take to higher inquiry and discover what one's Sarupa is. So therefore, thereafterwards, what should be done? Paschat, Tvam Shuddha Idam Sarvam Brahma iti bodhaye. Iti bodhaye. You should be taught. How? This way. You are Shuddha, pure. Pure means free from all upadhis. And Shuddha, Idam Sarvam Brahma. And all this is perceptibly available, has no existence apart from Chaitanya, you in reality. Iti bodhaye. So he should be taught. But here the Shruti gives a caution to the Guru. Be very careful that the Shishya has got Shuddha Antakarana. He has got enough Viveka Vairagya. He has got enough mastery over the senses. If not so, by this teaching, he can damn himself. Therefore, that is a caution here. Continue.
अज्ञस्यार्धप्रबुद्धस्य सर्वं ब्रह्मेति यो वदेत् महानरकजालेषु सतेन विनियोजितः।
Yaha Guru. If any Guru does this, whether Yaha Adnyasya Ardha Prabuddhasya, to an ignorant person, Ardha Prabuddhasya, not totally Viveki. Some blow in life got some little Vairagya, came and ran to ashram. No. This is what Apata Vairagya. A superficial Vairagya. In course of time, he will gravitate toward the Vishayas. So therefore here, Ardha Prabuddhasya, Viveka is not yet strong. So like this, no? Smashana Vairagya, etc. Some near and dear person died. This person went to the crematorium. And then he said, what? Entire life is what? Has no sense at all. Anytime anyone can die, etc. What is the purpose of these properties, etc.? How many days? Not or one, even 2 days. Again, the good old game starts. Not that way. See, in life, sorrowful incidents do take place. Calamitous incidents do take place. But one should take a lesson from them. Lesson as to the real nature of Jagat. Whatever we hope to get from that is not there. It's only a wild goose chase only. So that should be one's own discovery. Then that Viveka Vairagya is what? Very firm. So therefore he says, Ardha Prabuddhasya, not a totally Viveki. Says, if the Guru teaches him Sarvam Brahma iti Vade, such a person is taught that everything is Brahma. He says, Saha, that Adnyaha, that ignorant person who is taught so. Tena Vaktra, by that Guru who has taught him so. Mahanaraka Jaleshu Viniyojitaha. He is sent to, he is pushed to a great hell. Because do you know why? Such a person will not give up the Vishayas. He will indulge more and more because there is an argument now. Everything is Brahman. So everything is Brahman, and Brahman did not be given up. Brahman is taken to. So what is wrong in indulging the sense object? This is no Pune philosophy. Upalakshanam, Pune philosophy. So you know that I don't want to spell it out. From carnal pleasure to Samaj. So no, this is a misinterpretation of that. That person is going to damn oneself. It is only Mahanaraka Jala. Such people get caught up in that dreaded net of great hell. So the Guru has to be very careful in imparting such knowledge to a person who is not totally Viveki. Other way now. One who has got thorough Vivek and Vairagya. You did not tell him. On his own, he is totally disinterested in the Vishayas. To such person, how further instructions are to be imparted by the Guru is being told now. Read.
प्रबुद्ध बुद्धे प्रक्षीण भोगेच्छस्य निराशिषः नास्य विद्यामलमिति प्राज्ञस्तुपदिशेत् गुरुः
प्रबुद्ध बुद्धे प्रक्षीण भोगेच्छस्य निराशिषः अविद्यामलं नास्ति इति प्राज्ञः गुरुः तु उपदिशेत्. प्राज्ञः गुरुः तु उपदिशेत्. But to such a disciple, who is it? Prabuddha buddhi. One has got very high viveka. One has a very high viveka. Buddhi is very highly viveki. And vairagya also. The result vairagya is there, and because there is a vairagya, prakshina bhogechasya. He has no desire to have sense indulgence. He has no value for sense pleasure. Maybe he is not a jnani, but one thing he has found out, that sense pleasure is not worth pursuing. See, when Ramakrishna Paramahamsa left the body, many youngsters who were under the care of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa were being led by Swami Vivekananda. They had a very tough time at that time, because they are away from their house and the relatives are totally hostile to them, and they were blaming this Vivekananda because they knew that he is holding them together and leading, and they had no place to stay properly, no food properly. At times they had to eat simple boiled rice, if at all available, that also even without salt. Such pitiable condition they had to undergo. And people were criticizing these boys, and especially targeting Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda replied, yes, they may not be jnanis, but do you mean to say only because they are not jnanis they have to go get married and beget children? They are on the path. One cannot accomplish great achievements overnight. It has its own time. So like that, here is the one. He is not at a jnani, but he is sure about this, that this sense pleasure, Vishaya Bhoga, is not worth pursuing. Not because Shastra says, not because teacher says, it is his own discovery. He has inquired into it on his own and discovered for himself this is the fact, and therefore he says, Prakshina Bhogecha. Desire for sense pleasure is no more there, and as a result, Nirashishaha is desireless. Now he says to this person, what further should be taught? Beta, listen. Avidya malam nasti. Look, This avidya, ignorance of oneself, which is actually hindering, obstructing your swarupa from yourself. Don't think it is something really there. It is not at all there. It is only delusion on your part that it is there. Because of your preoccupation in the Vishayas, the mind was always a state of flux, state of change. As a result, you were denied of cognition of your real nature as it is. And we are told this because ignorance, not it, you don't know. Had you known yourself, you would not have run after Vishayas. Now, to a great extent, you have got rid of this Vishaya Bhoga Trishna. Your mind becomes what? More and more calm. From that standpoint, whatever in your mind gets reflected in terms of calm, composure, know it is your Swarupa. So therefore, truly speaking, avidya is not an ever-existent entity. We say avidya is anadi, beginningless, but it is santa. It has an end. Atma is anadi, ananta, endless, destructionless. Avidya, maya is what? Is beginningless, but it has got an end. But how that is, that means it is very difficult to get it off, because you are not inquired into. Just inquire into avidya and maya, they will disappear. So truly, avidya, maya are not there. Because you have not inquired into them, they become a big phantom. They overpower you as it were. But face directly and inquire into them, they will fizzle away. Avidya and maya will fizzle away. They have no existence on their own. Avidya malam na siti pradnyaha guruhu. A guru who himself is a jnani, upadishet, should teach. So, this avidya or maya are truly not there. But when you inquire into them, they just disappear. So, thus, by proper inquiry, when avidya or maya is ended, you get your swarupa. You regain your swarupa, that is Brahma as it is. 1 minute. Some may argue like this after listening this. See, you are telling that there is Brahma only. But as we find, all that is Jagat only. Somebody said, these people are telling that Brahma is sarvavyapi, everywhere. But when I open my eyes, what I find Jagat. When I close my eyes, what I find is darkness. Brahma kidhar bhi dikhta nahi hai. Brahma is not seen anywhere. Keep the eyes open, the world is there. Keep the eyes closed, darkness is there. Where is Brahman? Such question may be possible. To this, an answer is given with illustration, pointing out the basis of Jagat. True, you are perceiving the Jagat world, but its very basis is Brahma Tattva. Without Chaitanya, the Jagat cannot have any existence. Because you are not inquired into, you wonder where this Brahma is. When you inquire, you will find that the very matrix of Jagat is based on the foundation of all pervasive Chit and Chit alone. Chit and Chit alone. Read.
Sati Deepa Iva Lokaha Satyarka Iva Vasaraha Sati Pushpa Iva Modaha Chiti Satyam Jagat Tatha.
Deepe Sati Alokaha Iva. Arke Sati Vasaraha Iva. Pushpe Sati Amodaha Iva. Chiti Satyam Tatha Jagat. Chiti Satyam Tatha Jagat. Deepe Sati Alokaha Iva. Aloka means prakasha, light. Deepe Sati. When there is a lamp, there is light. Invariably light will be there, because lamp without light is impossible. Similarly, Arke Sati. Arkaha is sun, Surya. Arke Sati Vasaraha. Vasara means day. The day is there when the sun is there. Well, light everywhere. Pushpe Sati. When a fragrant flower is there, Amodaha. Amoda is fragrant. Just the presence of a fragrant flower, what spreads fragrance everywhere. So also, Chiti Satyam Tatha Jagat. Tatha, in the same manner. Chiti Satyam. When Chaitanya is there, Jagat is there. In fact, do you perceive the Jagat? Yes. 24/7 we perceive the Jagat. That perception of Jagat should trigger you off in the cognition of Chaitanya, without which Jagat cannot be perceived. This can be a constant and continuous meditation. Don't think meditation means sitting at a place with closed eyes and then what? Mind is roaming everywhere. If eyes were open, the mind will be confined to what is in front of the eye. With the closed eyes, there is no latent hindrance for that mind. It goes all over the world. That's not meditation. See, you hear a sound. That sound is heard because of Shabdakara Antakana Vritti, a thought corresponding to the sound. This thought corresponding sound is inert in nature, but I am aware of it. That principal entity which makes me aware of the sound akara vritti is Chaitanya me. See, what you saw is only sound. You see a form, the rupa. Rupa akara antakara vritti takes place. A thought conformed with the form takes place. Inert in nature. The Chaitanya, the entity, the Chaitanya which makes me aware of, which reveals me the form, that is what Chaitanya Atma is. This can be extended to other perceptions. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Indriyas perceive the Vedya. Entity is to be known, perceived. The Vedyas, entities to be known, differ. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, they are different from one another. But that samvit, that Chaitanya, which makes you aware of them, Ekarupa, Panchadashi chapter 1, of one nature, with a cognitive principle, with a knowledge principle, the self-experiencing principle, which makes you aware of this. Now see, what you perceived is Jagat, but it can trigger off. If you got Vivek Vairagya and the proper inquiry, it can trigger off inner Swarupa. So therefore, in fact, many years back, few decades back, I had taken this in Mahabaleshwara's meditation. Unfortunately, those were not recorded. And of course, sound disturbance was there, sound system was not that high quality. But these were done and they are very effective. I did find that they were very effective at that time. But that atmosphere, environment is necessary. So these things can be taken to for meditation also. See, look, any perception without which you can't know the world is not possible without Chaitanya. Why perception? Any action on your part, any karma, whether you are walking, talking, sitting, holding, whatever you do, how it is done? Through the karmendriyas. Karmendriyas are prompted by pranas. Prana by itself is inert in nature. And yet, it motivates, it propels the indriyas into function because of the Chaitanya. The Chaitanya, the inert prana itself becomes what? A great force of action. If the Chaitanya were not there, pranas will be inert. Inert pranas means the propelling force for indriyas, karmendriyas will not be there. So I'm walking, talking, sitting, running, thinking, forgetting. Matta smriti jnana upamaccha. Even forgetting because of the Chaitanya only. So therefore, the very fact that we interact with the world, we have vyavahara with the world, proves the existence of Chaitanya Brahma. See how strange. Not only how strange, how sad it is. The entity, the principle, because of which the entire Jagat cannot exist. The entity, the principle, without which no action is ever possible in the Jagat. We know not, leave alone the reality that such an entity exists also, we don't know. Can there be more pitiable condition than this? Can there be more sad condition than this? And yet we are in that. And if some guru, some shastra tries to draw our attention to this, we scream and run away with some excuse. A Viveki should not behave like that. First have Shraddha in the Shastra. That is why Bhagavan Krishna said, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. And contrary to it is Samshayatma vinashyati. A person full of doubts about this gets ruined, not useful for any purushartha, leave moksha. But this person is not fit for even dharma, artha, kama. Some bug enters. You know, there was many decades back, it's somewhere 1960s or so. Howard Hughes, a great industrialist in America, he had film industries, aircraft industries, and how rich he was. But when he died, the cause of death in the death certificate was he died of malnutrition. Think of it. A multi-billionaire, that also in a developed country like America, where everything is available, he died of malnutrition. What happened? As his riches wealth started increasing, he started suspecting people. People may kill him. He started suspecting to the excessive extent. He started suspecting the cooks also. The cooks may put some poison in. So much of security, this, that, etc. And slowly he got that fixation. He was not eating properly. He was not taking the food because of this doubt. And every day, what? Pathological tests were being done. Living with himself only. Finally died. What happened? Doubt. Samshayatma. Samshayatma. So that why at least this fellow died. Rockefeller came out of it. Rockefeller, of course, he didn't degrade to such extent. When his riches started increasing by leaps and bounds, he found insecure. He may be targeted by others. He was very much disturbed by that. His friends told, look, go to Chicago. One Indian monk has come there. But this Rockefeller, Indian monk, you think that he's a great man? He didn't listen to them. But the friends are pleading, they look, many have got benefited by him. Please go. Finally, one day he decided to go. He went. Swami Vivekananda was in a room reading. An attendant was there. So the attendant told, please be seated, sir. He is busy inside. But that ego was there, no? Rockefeller, who is this person? Who is this person who can stop me? Sometimes the ego is such that the one person thinks too much of it. I will tell you one incident in this context afterwards. He barged in, of course. Attendant could not do anything at all. I don't know whether he knew that he is Rockefeller and who is Rockefeller also, but anyway, he did. Vivekananda looked up, he was not angry, etc. You see, asked fully, what do you want, sir? I don't want anything. I said, please be seated. Said, before he could ask anything, Vivekananda narrated what is the state of his mind. Rockefeller was a little taken aback. How this guy tells all this which nobody knows? Yes, how can you say so? Ask him. Look, I can read your mind like the things kept in a glass almirah. He said, look, your problem is this. You've got a lot of wealth. Do one thing. Utilize that money, your wealth, for the good of humanity. Make a, what is that? What is that deed? And distribute that. It didn't appeal to him. And with that arrogance, he left. But after he left, slowly the things started sinking in his mind. I think there's some truth in this, what this monk says. And finally, he consented to what he has said and made a big deed of this, how the money is to be utilized for the good of the people. And he came back and showed him. And he told ego, no, he told Vivekananda, you should thank me. Vivekananda smiled. Why should I thank you? You have to thank me. I gave you suggestions for your good. I am not going to get anything out of this. It is going for the good of the humanity. Then Akkal aa gaya. But Rockefeller came out of it. Otherwise, it would have been a condition of Howard Hughes. Now coming to the point. He bypassed the attendant. Bypassed the attendant and went in, of course. Vivekananda being what it is, he was not angry, etc. But he coolly received it. Another incident happened. In Prashanti Nilayam, Sati Sai Baba's ashram. There is a guest house where these big VIPs, dignitaries, etc. are given accommodation. One olden days story. a very popular chief minister of Andhra, who was a frequent visitor to Prashant Nidayam, happened to come, and after darshan, etc., he was in the guest room. And the system there is, such VIPs are attended by students. What their need is, whatever they are totally taken care of. So 2 students were taking care of him. So one outside, other one in the one MLA of their party came to meet Chief Minister. He had nothing to do with Satya Sai Baba. He had nothing to do with the Puttaparthi ashram. But his boss, who the Chief Minister was there, he wanted some favor from him. And he wanted to go. He came, started entering there. The boy student who was there was outside. Sir, please remove our chappals and go inside. This was a haughty person. No? Who is this boy to tell me, etc.? He just brushed him aside and barred in. Then this boy went behind him. Sir, you simply remove it. I will keep it outside. You need not go outside. I will keep it outside. He didn't, sir. And this thing. The next boy was standing, was looking what is happening. It was a little hefty boy. And he was wanted to bypass him also. He said, look, if you don't remove your chappals, I will go and complain to the Chief Minister. I go and complain to the Chief Minister. Now his boss, he knows he will be fired. Quietly went out, kept the chappals and went inside. The story didn't end there at all. Well, that Chief Minister went or went or further, God knows. Evening, bhajan sessions were going on. In the bhajan session, the outer gate student was on the veranda sitting with other students. The inner student was in the inner room where bhajans were being sung by the students. Satya Sai Baba came to this outer student. Hey, what happened? About his incident. This, etc. Then I offered him this. Baba said, look, at times you have to be harsh in life also. All this kindness will not work. You should be stern in certain cases. Should not have allowed him, stop him. What a lesson. Baba went inside. Inner boy doesn't know what has happened outside and what is happening inside. His outer boy doesn't know. He went asked, hey, of course, Baba was telling others, see, how this boy behaved. He was appreciating, but he told, at times you should be stern in life also. Inside he went and asked the boy, hey, what happened? He said, with all his eyes, look, if you behave like this in life, you will have problems. If you become too rude also, what? There's a way of doing it. You will have problems. Two different. What is that? The lessons for two students. It is like, pumping the air in the tire. If the air is less, you have to pump. If air is more, you have to release. The tire will get burst. So life has to be properly balanced. This was demonstrated by even Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. You should know these things in life. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa with respect to disciples. These youngsters were coming to him and people were against that. One day, one disciple, youngster, had to go to the other bank for some purchase or something, right? And together go in boat. And all these people started criticizing Ramakrishna Paramahamsa like anything else. He felt so bad about the criticism of this guru, so he started weeping. This came to the notice of Vivekananda. And by chance or something, one day he also was crossing. And same story, they started. So Vivekananda was a well-built person. He went and told the person, will you shut up your mouth or should I just now lift and throw in the Ganges? He advanced. The person got alarmed. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa came to know both cases. He called the earlier person and rebuked him. What? When your guru is criticized, condemned, you are weeping. You should have retaliated that. You should have made the person shut his mouth. How could you tolerate it? He called Vivekananda also. What if your guru is condemned? What does he lose? You have no control over yourself. Can you not control your anger? You should not behave like this. So that is how it is. The air in the tire must be proper. Too much, it will burst. Too less, it will not work. So that is how it is. Anyway, these are the ways of the world. And you should have these proper ways of the world. Then only the disciplined mind is possible. Who says? Samarth Ramdas Maharaj said, Sansara karava netaka maga paramarth. Let your vyavahar in the world be proper. You will be properly seasoned to take to paramartha. I'm telling you, see, you should know this. Once it happened, one gentleman, Maharashtra, just a man of acquaintance, because his timing and my timing were coinciding. When I had returned, he used to come for something like that, just in the neighboring place. I just have some hello here and there. One day he asked me, Swamiji, that which has to be given more importance? Marathi, Sansara or Paramartha? Which should be given priority? I straight away told him. समर्थ रामदासाने काय सांगितलेलं आहे? संसार करावा नेटका मग परमार्थ. He was very happy. Yes, sir. Then I added to that. But पण परमार्थाशिवाय गत्यंतर नाही ते समजून घेतलं पाहिजे. You do your sadhana properly, but you have no other alternative than to paramartha. That should be there. It is not 50-50 affair. Proper samsara so that you are groomed well to take to paramartha properly. Like aparavidya is necessary to take to paravidya. Aparavidya means paravidya is the goal. So also these few ways of life have to be thorough so that the mind becomes ready to take to the further pursuit. So that So this being the case, Chiti Satyam Tatha Chiti Satyam Jagat. Chaitanya is there, Jagat is there. Chaitanya is there, Jagat is there. Without Chaitanya, Jagat is not there at all. We'll continue.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशाली देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ